Diamonds in my teeth, I got a lot of shine. Running up the number, that's a lot of crime. Try to take it from me, must be out your mind. Lot of sun, smoky in the air, that's a lot of pine. Pockets running over with the dollar sign. Try to take it from me, yeah. Big time, big time, big time, big time. Running up the numbers, that's a lot of crime. Try to take it from me, must be out your mind. Lot of sun, smoky in the air, that's a lot of crime. It's running over with the dollar sign. Try to take it from me. Big time. Diamonds in my teeth, I got a lot of shine. Running up the numbers, that's a lot of grind. Try to take it from me, must be out your mind. I'm big time, lot of shine. Smoky in the air, that's a lot of pine. Pockets running over with the dollar sign. Try to take it from me, from me, from me, from me. Big time, number 9. Diamonds in my teeth, I got a lot of shine. The numbers, that's a lot of crime. Try and take it from me, must be out your mind.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to a Friday edition. Happy Friday to you, little TJIF here in the Valley. It is the YSN Power Hour. My name is DJ Yoakley, and we have a big show for you today. One of my personal friends, feel like he's family, have felt that for a long time. Logan Bell, the former Lisbon Ace, is going to be on with us to talk about his climb up through the Pee-wees, up through Division I baseball, how things are going with him at Bowling Green, and everything in between. Listen, if you are out there right now and you have a daughter in the college range, this is the kind of kid that you want dating your daughter and someday marrying her, because this guy is the guy. He is every father's dream to be able, and he'll sit there. He's probably getting red right now in the backstage, hearing about it. But listen, I'm telling you, one of the best young men you'll ever meet on the field, off the field. Logan Bell joins us in just a moment. But before we get to that, some games on tonight, YS Nation, and you got to show up because it's all for free right here on ysnlive.com/live. Let's get right to it. At 7 o'clock, Southern at Columbiana. Eric Hoffenzies will have the call for you. Then you have Springfield at LeBray. Brian Oatridge and Jamie Thompson going to be on the call for that. I'll have United at Salem. That's at 7 o'clock. Urban Scholars at East Palestine. Tim Figley will have the call. Struthers at Lakeview. Lakeview students going to be repping out there in the View. Then we got Newton Falls at Campbell. Also, don't forget the Battle 224, Canfield at Poland. We'll have that for you. Noah Ricks will have Howland at Niles. Lake Center Christian at Warren JFK. Dom's going to have that one for you. Letonia at Louisville, have that one for you. Lisbon at Crestview, Logan's alma mater. taking on the Rebels. Larry and Rick will have that for you as well. And Lordstown and Heartland Christian, Mark Franken will be on the call for that. So make sure you're tuning in tonight. A lot of games for you. A lot of games just absolutely getting down to crunch time as we head towards the tournament at the beginning of next week for boys. You do not want to miss a minute. And now that all of the official stuff is done, we bring in he doesn't need an intro because of who he is and what he's done here in the Valley, but I'm going to give him one anyway because it's deserved, and it's on Bowling Green's website. That's called Convenience. So in high school, a young man who surprised nobody because he brought it to your front doorstep each and every game that he played, whether it was basketball or football, and especially in baseball. This young man earned 4 letters at Lisbon throughout the baseball career, recorded a batting average. He's a pitcher. He's a pitcher, mind you. He recorded a slash of over 400 in 3 of his 4 seasons for the Blue Devils. Posted an ERA of over 1.85 in each of his final 3 seasons. Named first team All-State in each of his final 3 seasons. Team captain, and most importantly, a member of the National Honor Society, so he can do it on the bump, and he can do it in the classroom as well. Ladies and gentlemen, Logan Bell, what's up, dude?
Just hanging out, trying to get things done. Just getting ready for a weekend series.
I was gonna say you've got to be getting ready. This is it's gonna be opening weekend in baseball at the NCAA level. Who do you guys open up against?
St. Louis University.
Okay, so, and it's not at St. Louis. Where is it?
No, it's at the Met in Hoover, Alabama.
So you're gonna be soaking up the rays down in Alabama.
Yeah, it's gonna be warm. Not tomorrow night, but Friday it's supposed to be 55, Saturday 65, Sunday 70. So
not too shabby.
Little warmer than here, I guess.
We're a long ways from Lisbon, Ohio, my friend.
Yeah, and Bowling Green. It's windy over here, man.
Well, yeah, it is a little bit windy over there, but I mean, the adverse conditions. Listen, you've pitched in some of the, I don't want to say the fine. Let's say not the finest ballparks in America in high school, because we do have some issues getting on some fields and some field maintenance with some schools. What's the biggest difference to pitching in the EOAC? And some of the different ballparks that you saw when you had the go around, and pitching at a D1 baseball park?
I think it's like the backdrops, like behind home plate. Like that's something that's definitely a lot more different because like in all of our leagues, like even at Lisbon, we had a chain link fence backstop. Like everything's like it's either padded or brick, or it's just a lot different, and it always looks different compared to what I had in high school. Like Wellsville, for example, it was whenever you got on that mound, you felt like you were standing on top of the batter because the backstop was so close. But like at Lisbon, it always felt like it was farther away.
I feel like every time we get together, you have to bring up Wellsville because that was your grand slam and the only game that I didn't have video for. So I love that you're being super cool about it. But every time we get together, whether we're on or off camera, you got to throw that little jab at me.
Just a little jab.
Just a little jab.
Yeah.
Logan, I mean, talk about your time at Lisbon. I mean, you were special there, and everybody knew it. And it wasn't just what you did on the field. It was how you carried yourself. You come from a family that loves Lisbon, that's been local for a long time, business owners, and just great people. Some of my favorite people in this entire world. We consider you family. What was it like for you growing up in that era with parents that were loved by everybody and loved everybody? What was it like for you?
Yeah, I think it was definitely different because for me, I was always in that shadow of the seniors when I was a freshman. So that group of like Josh Liberati, Austin Rutucky, Josh Craig, Avery Andrick. So for me, it was like, hey, like be what you want to be on the field, but just know it doesn't matter what you're on the field. The person off the field is truly what matters because like my parents were always involved in the community. Like that's something that I think we pride ourselves on as a family is being able to be involved and like be there for Lisbon. And I think that's like kind of what happened to me in high school was Lisbon was there for me. Like people supported, everyone cared. Like it was a very give and take relationship where they would give a lot, I'd take a lot, and then I'd give it back. It was really nice.
What's crazy is you were at the very beginning of the, how do I say it the best, the the open stock exchange of players going to different places and playing for different teams based on, playing with guys, the super teams, right, that have been created all over the country, not just in this area. But you were able to keep your focus based on Lisbon. You were the quarterback. You also played basketball. You're very good at golf. You weren't on the golf team though.
No, trust me, that's like something that always like has dug at me. Like I wish I could have done golf in high school, but then I wouldn't have been able to play football.
And that would have bothered you.
Yeah, because I really enjoyed playing football for 4 years.
But now you're getting your golf fix in
Oh,
all the time.
Every day I can, I golf.
All right, so let's talk about multi-sport athlete. I mean, being a quarterback, being the ace pitcher, I mean, that's every kid's dream, every dad's dream growing up. Playing shortstop throughout the years and having that strong arm. What was it like for you? When did you really realize that there is a pressure to that situation, being that guy in that spot and being able to or having to carry your team in multiple sports?
See, I feel like it's different for me. Like I enjoy playing the game. Like I'm there to have fun. That's why I love baseball. You can have fun in every aspect of the game. So for me, I never really felt like a lot of pressure to be good. It was kind of just like, hey, go out there, do what you've done for like your whole life. Like let your hard work just carry you through the game. Because once you get into the game, like thinking is out the window. Just go play. That's always like how I've been treated, like how my parents would like, hey, just go have fun. Like who cares? Like who cares what happens? Just go be you. And that's kind of something that's changed for me in college. Was once I got to college, I had to realize like, hey, everybody in college was a shortstop on their high school team and everybody had that. So kind of like remembering to be myself, like have the fun, don't get too uptight, like just be out there and do your thing.
And one of the things that everybody appreciates, myself included, is the fact that you are, while you are, it could be the best player on any roster, you are also the best teammate on any roster. And you put that above being the best player. You want to be a teammate first and a player second. Not that you're not the most competitive human being I've ever met in my life, but you're also, you show up every day. You don't have to be there every day, and you show up every day and you support your guys each and every day.
Yeah, I think that's something I take pride in, like being able to be the guy that if they need something, like, hey, I'm here. Like during the summer, that was a big thing. I would show up. I showed up 3 hours before we had to be there. Like I was in the clubhouse hanging out, watching TV with the guys. I was hanging out with the GM in the clubhouse sometimes. So like when guys would show up early and be like, hey, do you want to flip? Like, do you want to flip me BP before the game? I'd be like, yeah, like just let's get the L screen out and let's go do it. And I think that was something that like I remember Pletch and I talked about that a lot, because that's kind of how I learned the game, was being able to show up every day and talk to other people about like at bats. Like I'd quiz Don Pololi on every at bat my senior summer. I wanted to learn how he was such a good hitter. It was just like, for me, it's always wanting to be better and never being satisfied with the mental part of the game.
Was it ever a challenge to you? I mean, we mentioned that you batted over 400 3 out of your 4 years in high school. That's not easy to do, especially as a sophomore, right? Was it? I always wondered for you, was it a tough adjustment to having the bat taken out of your hands and just having to focus on pitching? I know you fought it tooth and nail in the summer, but was it tough for you to do, and how did you overcome that?
Getting into college, it was kind of different because I realized how much better at hitting other kids were. Like we have a kid who was he was the freshman MAC of the year last year, and he's just, you watch him hit a baseball and you're like, how does he do it? Like I'll throw pitches to him in live and I'll be like, how'd you hit that ball? And he's just like, I don't know, I just got the barrel to it. And I'm like that helps a lot. But it's just kind of like, it's an adjustment period, because you have to realize that while hitting is taken away, it gives me a lot more time to focus on being a better pitcher and focus on being a better teammate and focus on being mentally locked in every minute of the game.
We talked to Lane Rhodes a couple weeks ago, and he said the major adjustment for him from high school to college was not having to strike everybody out. Just trying to locate the pitches a little bit better, and trying to miss bats as opposed to trying to just bang strikes at 89, 90, 92 miles an hour.
Yeah.
What was the biggest adjustment for you going from pitching in high school to pitching in college?
I think my problem was when I got to Akron, I kind of got out of like my own routine and got out of being who I was as a pitcher. And that was kind of something that I got back to last spring, this summer, and I'm really looking forward to this spring because I really think this is going to be one of the ones where I can kind of push myself a little more because I finally found a routine again. I'm back in like a normal schedule where everything is clicking and I'm being the pitcher who I was and not the pitcher who I think I should be and comparing myself to other pitchers. Because, I mean, you have those guys who are able to throw 93 at the knees and just dust every team. I'm not one of those guys. I have to figure out a way to do it with other pitches, inside, outside, up, down, off speed. It's just that's also been an adjustment, like learning how to pitch rather than throw.
So who would you, and I know you've named multiple pitchers over the years who you'd compare yourself to, who you thought that, okay, this is my personality, this is who I am on the bump. Who would you compare yourself to now in what, your third season of college baseball?
That's tough because, I mean, I don't know. I like to think like Shane Bieber, for example, but I'm not a tall, lengthy righty. I'm short. It's hard. It's compared to the average for a baseball player.
What? Not compared to the average announcer.
Yeah. But I mean, like, I think competitively, I like to think once I step on that mound, I want to be like Max Scherzer, even though I don't have the tenacity he has, or the 97-mile-an-hour fastball. But I like to be in my own little set of mind. Like once I'm on the mound, it's me versus the hitter. Like it's kind of just a battle.
What's funny is Logan, I've been around for your story basically since YSN was created, and you've been a supporter, your family has been supporters, but like you had some adversity, and most people look at your story and say, okay, he's the kid that has everything, he gets everything, da 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 da. That's not who you are. That's not who your family is. You guys earn everything that you have been given. I not should say give, earned everything you have, right? Mm-hmm. So yeah. When you look at your journey from high school to college, a lot of people don't know the struggles that you had internally with making sure you're doing the right things, getting noticed. And this was prior to COVID. Can you share some of that story and the frustrations that you had then that obviously have succumbed since you're in the right spot now? What things did you go through that you think multiple kids in our area go through in the frustrations because they're the best at their craft at their school and they're still not getting noticed the same as you were?
Yeah, I think honestly it just comes to like consistently putting yourself out there, like being like, who cares, like social media, like obviously you need to be very controlled in what you like, what you retweet, what you tweet. Like don't be tweeting stuff with a bunch of cuss words. Like that's something I learned when I was young. Like everyone looks at your social media. Everyone does it still today. Like my head coach looks at my social media, and that's something that really can set you back because coaches are looking for a person that they don't have to worry about when you're off the field. Like that they can be like, okay, he's fine. Like he won't get in trouble. And then I think really focusing on being a student is helpful because looking at a kid with a 3.9 GPA and a 24 ACT and a kid with a 3.6 GPA and a 20 ACT, they're going to take the kid with the better grades and the better ACT score. It's just the way it goes. I mean, and obviously like kids from bigger schools are going to get picked over you. I mean, it happened to me. But I mean, I believe I'm in the right spot, and I believe that everybody has a journey that's going to get them to where they need to be. And my journey's gotten me here.
And I love that, man. Biggest challenge you had in the entire process from getting to high school to college? What was your biggest obstacle?
I think gaining velocity, because I mean everyone chases it. So for me, it was like my freshman year. I sat down with my pitching coach, Mike Grady, from Canton, Ohio, and I was like, "Hey, I want to be a collegiate pitcher. Like, how can I do this?" And he was like, "Look, we're gonna set benchmarks each year that you have to hit. If you don't hit it, then you're just gonna become a position player." So my sophomore year, it was like, "Hey, let's get to 80." My junior year, it was like, "Hey, let's get to 85." And then my senior year was get to 90. My sophomore year, I got to 80, 80, 81. My junior year, I got to 85 to 87. Then my senior year, I topped at 91. I mean, that's what's very difficult is like going to showcases. You're not going to put your best stuff out there. Like I remember my junior year, I went to a showcase and I was awful. I was like 82 to 84 and just wasn't in the zone. And I remember leaving that showcase being like, dude, like you just like all your dreams are just ruined now. But I mean, not pressing the panic button and realizing, hey, like coaches understand that you're gonna have bad days and off days. Like depending on the time of the year too. Like your velocity in December doesn't matter. Your velocity in February through April, March, I mean April, May is matters. And so does summer ball. That's another thing is putting yourself out there in summer ball, going and challenging yourself and playing high level summer ball is really something that helped me get recruited.
I think the biggest thing in this area all the time is everybody's a D1 athlete, right? You know, if you go get a hitting lesson or you go get dribbling lessons for basketball or you get a quarterback camp, your parents consider you a D1 athlete. You know that not to be true. And listen, you and I talked about it. You were considered a fringe guy on the jump, but you were determined to make it D1. And I remember the moment that you posted on Twitter that you hit, I think it was 90 or 91.
I think it was 80. It was 89.8. I remember it.
Is that 80? Okay.
Yeah, it was the video. So it was the video my senior year, right after a basketball practice. I went to like a 7 to 9 a.m. basketball practice and then drove straight to Canton and threw a bullpen. And I was like, hey, whatever happens, happens. We're putting this video out. And then I got up to 89.8 and I was like, perfect. That's all I need.
I love that you remember 89.8. I
Yeah.
love
Oh,
that
yeah.
you
Trust
won't
me.
give yourself credit for 90.
No,
That tells
no.
everybody who you are.
You got to hit it. I mean, it doesn't count. The radar gun doesn't round up.
My gosh, you sound like your dad right there. You sound just like your dad.
So that's what I mean, think about it. That's who taught me that. But like the thing I learned the hard way was the radar gun doesn't have feelings. Like it doesn't care for your feelings. It's going to tell you no matter what. It deals in absolutes. It's either it's this or this. There's no, oh, it's 89.8. Let's round it up to 90. No, it's 89.8.
I love that. Because most kids are, I mean, let's be honest, most kids throw 89.8, they're rounding it up to 94.
Mhm.
You know, they're telling everybody on Twitter they got 94.
Mhm.
You put that out there and immediately you got some looks. What does
Yeah.
that say about, you know, how to control, you talked about earlier, how to control your Twitter, your social media, to be able to promote yourself. You didn't really look into, you had a pitching coach naturally and a trainer, but you didn't necessarily go into that recruitment service, which is hot right now. Everybody's looking for recruitment service to do the hard work for them. What's your advice from that scenario to do the work yourself?
I think it's so. I mean, shoot, I've sent thousands of emails to college coaches from high school to when I entered the portal to. I mean, it's just being able to contact a coach yourself and create a relationship with the coach is what makes college baseball because you spend more time with that coach than you spend with your family. Like, I mean, I spend 11 out of 12 months playing baseball a year. I spend 5 or 6, no, I'd say probably 7, no. Yeah. 7 to 8 in Bowling Green and then another 3 for summer ball. I mean, like, I'm literally with my coach all the time. He's like another father. So, like, being able to connect with coaches and being able to put yourself out there and be who you are. Like, I mean, I put my GPA, my ACT, I put everything in my bio before I tweeted that out. And then on that tweet, I put everything out there. Like, here's what I have. And I mean, that was something that coaches would always bring up when they had sent an email back or reached out to me, was like, they'd talk about school. And in my family, it was like, you're here to do school first. Yeah. So like during the week, it was like, I'd never played video games until Friday night. And that was my week. It was, hey, you get home from practice, you do your homework, and then you'll eat, blah, blah, blah. And if you want to like go do something with your friends, go do something with your friends, but you're not playing video games during the week, because it kills every chance of you being able to, I'd say momentum. It kills all momentum in a week, because you just sit there for 2 hours like this staring at a screen. Like, just continue to work on yourself. I mean, there's times now where I'll be sitting down playing video games. I'll be like, I probably should be getting schoolwork done, and then I'll turn the game off and start doing schoolwork.
It's called choices, right? That's what you have to do. We all have choices. It's just how hard you want to work to get to what you want to do. For instance, this guy can be a little bit of a distractor sometimes. Yes. Now everybody's on this instead of necessarily, on an Xbox or a PlayStation. What distractions have you had to overcome? Not necessarily in high school, because that's a controlled environment with parents usually. What distractions have you had to overcome or learn to overcome in college?
I think falling into the wrong crowd is always a tough thing to do. I mean, I'm an outgoing person, so like I kind of mesh with everybody. So like I'm in SAC, which is the Student Athlete Advisory Committee. So I mean, I've started to meet a lot more people since I've got to Bowling Green. So I know a lot more sports teams. So I hang out with the right people. Even if it's on the baseball team, I hang out with the right people. Because surrounding yourself with who you want to be is going to manifest who you are. You don't want to hang out with people that you don't want to be. So like, it's kind of what my parents have always kind of put in me, like been like, hey, don't do anything that you're uncomfortable with. Don't be with people you're uncomfortable being with. Like, always surround yourself with people who give off the same energy and have the same goals that you have.
I love that, man. We're going to get into more of that role model, Logan Bell, in the second half of the show. We got to take a break. When we come back, Logan, we're going to talk about the transfer. You went to Akron, got into the portal after a year, and now you're at Bowling Green. We're going to talk about, nobody ever asks you kind of what you go through as, from a mental standpoint, from just were you depressed? Were you excited? Where did you fall for that? And what was it like from you? We're gonna speak to Logan Bell about what it's like to go through something like that on a transfer, and we're also gonna talk about the guy he is off the field, which is my favorite part. So stay with us as we continue with this great interview with Lisbon's finest, Mr. Logan Bell, right after these words.
New things happen all day. Some are good, some not so good. In today's complicated world, while you're busy working, playing, and living life, we're busy helping you make sense of the day's news. And there's only one place where it comes together with clarity, context, and accountability. It's 21 News at 6 with me, Madison Tromler, and Derek Steyer.
21 News at 6. It's what the day's news really means to you.
Welcome home to a home made homier with Baird Brothers Fine Hardwoods. Inspiration starts at BairdBrothers.com and is turned into reality when high-quality hardwoods are delivered right to your home. Baird Brothers has the latest design trends, shiplap and skinny lap interior siding, antique oak rustic flooring, and, well, you'll find them all at BairdBrothers.com. Ordered easily, delivered conveniently, enjoyed comfortably. BairdBrothers.com.
At Greenwood Chevrolet, shop with confidence knowing we're ready to go the extra mile for you. With the largest selection of used vehicles in the Valley, backed by the Greenwood Advantage Warranty. Every one of our vehicles has undergone our own 126-point inspection, so it passes the most important inspection, yours. No other dealership has the extra inventory, gives you extra for your trade, and goes the extra mile for you. Only at Greenwood Chevrolet.
WRS Wealth Advisors, the area's premier wealth and retirement specialists. Located on South Avenue in Boardman.
Quality, customer service, and integrity. Those are the four words that have driven our success since 1957 at Joe Dickey Electric.
Joe Dickey Electric is one Mahoning Valley landmark business that stays current with the requirements of our customers. Family owned and managed, we are an electrical contractor and energy solutions provider. Every member of our team adds to his or her skill set through ongoing training. Residential, commercial, industrial, automotive, and more. We keep ahead of the needs of our customers with a fleet of more than 50 vehicles and 24/7 emergency service, so you're never left in the dark.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the YSN Power Hour. We are here with our very special guest on this Friday. He is Logan Bell. He is at Bowling Green, and it didn't start there, Logan. When all things started, you were in Akron Zip. You had a great meeting with them. It seemed to be a fit from the jump, and obviously, sometimes life happens to you. Talk to me about, not necessarily what happened, but kind of when you started thinking about when you were going to make the change and why the change was necessarily needed on your behalf.
Yeah, I mean, so my freshman year after COVID happened, I ended up partially tearing my UCL. And I was on the fringe of like, hey, do I want to try and go JUCO and bounce back? Do I just want to transfer? Like, because there was a point where I was just like, hey, sometimes you're not happy where you're at, and you just gotta move on. So I mean, after Coach Banfield and Coach McKinney had left, I was like, yeah, I don't think this would be a place I want to stay at. So I made the decision to enter the portal, and I remember as soon as I got in the portal, it was kind of like, it was different because it felt like the recruiting process all over again, but at this point, I'd kind of made a name for myself and been able to like, hey, these are what my stats were this year in the shortened season. I'm currently rehabbing. Like, I'll be throwing again in a month, and then I'm going to summer ball. So for me, it was different because, I mean, some people get to go like, hey, I'm in the portal, and then everyone reaches out to them. And for me, it wasn't like that. It was kind of like I still had to put myself out there again. And it was, I mean, I remember sending video to college coaches of me during a bullpen when I was like 75% because I was still rehabbing.
So when I mean, in your stats from the first year at Akron weren't bad. I mean, you had 9 innings and 11 strikeouts that first year. I mean, the coaches usually salivate over that. But I think with the COVID situation, everybody was kind of, like, be careful what you wish for because now everything's backed up. You're seeing it now at Bowling Green. Everybody's seeing it across the nation in their programs because now you've got fifth-year seniors that are sixth-year seniors, and the freshmen that you're bringing in are just log jammed. So when you were going through that, man, I mean, it's wild because the majority of people we talked to were in high school when it happened, but you were in college. It was your first year, and people don't realize freshmen don't always get the time that they deserve their freshman year. That's, to me, that was the hardest thing to realize for myself, was going from a big fish in a small pond to a little fish in a big pond. Even at the D3 level, you had to be absolutely going bananas because you basically had to go through it twice.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I felt like I got the opportunities that I wanted. I mean, I had every chance I could have asked for. I mean, I was playing baseball at the Division I level. I couldn't. I mean, 10-year-old me wouldn't have been worried about it. So like, that's kind of how I looked at things. But I mean, I think when I entered the portal, it was a little different because everybody had been entering the portal. Like, all the Ivy League schools were like, yeah, we're not playing baseball next year. So everybody was leaving. So there was like almost 1,200 kids in the portal when I had entered. And that was the one thing that my dad was like, hey, like, let's kind of slow down a minute. Like, let's think about this and look at what's going on. Like, look at how many kids are in the portal. And I was like, I kind of rather bet on myself than kind of worry about anything else. Cause I mean, my senior year of high school, I was a commit to Malone before I ended up at Akron, and I decommitted from Malone, and I was like just bet on myself, which has kind of been something that I've always believed in because like I believe that I'm a hard worker. Like I try to be the hardest worker in the room every day I show up. So why not believe in myself when, I mean, other coaches have, and my parents believe in me, and everyone in the town of Lisbon believed in me at the time. Like, everyone had my back. That was kind of like realizing that, hey, these people are behind you. Like, these people care about you. And like, I mean, I text you all the time. Like, whenever you text me, it's just like this is another guy who just like, who cares about you and believes that you can do what you want to do.
Oh, without a doubt, man. I mean, like that's people look at me as I'm a broadcaster, but like I generally am a fan, right? I'm a fan, and what's nice about you, Logan, is the fact that I'm not just a fan of who you are for what you do on the baseball field. I'm a fan of what you do off the field. And what scared me was the fact that, you know, I was a transfer, right? I went to Ohio Northern, you know, to play baseball, and even at the D3 level, like people don't realize it's still a job. And then you transfer, you know, I ended up transferring to Westminster where it was a much better fit for me. But I was worried because I know how I felt when I transferred. I felt like I screwed up. I remember the conversation with my parents. You know, am I wasting money? Am I wasting resources? Am I wasting my talent? Should I even be playing baseball? Should I even be doing broadcasting? I was worried because that's a tough conversation to have with your parents. But luckily for you, your parents, Charles and Allison, a.k.a. Uncle Chuck and Aunt Allie, are two of the greatest people to ever walk this earth. What was it like to have that conversation with them saying, listen, I don't feel like this is the right spot for me at this point. I'm looking to go somewhere else.
I mean, for me, so like I'd gone through the whole decommitment, recommitment phase. So they were like, hey, we trust your judgment. Like whatever you want, we're behind you. Gosh, I'm so grateful for them because of that. Like they allow me to be who I want to be. Like they allow me to take risks and dive into places that I've never been to. I mean, like, shoot, I go play summer ball in California. I played in Texas my freshman year. Like, without them, that's not possible. Like, without them being able to be like, hey, like, be you, man. Like, go travel the world. Go play baseball where you want to play baseball. Like, when I remember when I told my mom, she's like, do you really want to go to California? And I was like, yeah. Like, I mean, why not? Try to, like, put myself in a different environment that I may not be comfortable with.
I love that, man. And by the way, you might recognize this guy. The Lincoln Potters, and a gift from you and your entire family. Sure. So I rep you however I can, man. So, all right, we talked about, you know, what it was like to talk to them. What is it like to be the son of the Bells? And I mean, Lexi is the deer, right? She's the one
she's the loved one. She doesn't do anything wrong.
never does anything wrong.
She's princess.
But then comes along everybody's little brother in Logan Bell, and to this day, LB, you're still everybody's little brother. I mean, you talked about some of the names when you were a freshman; they were seniors. They took you under their wing immediately because they knew that not only were you a special talent on the field again, but you were a guy that they wanted to teach the ways to. And you've been like that your outgoing personality. What is it like to kind of grow up with your dad? And I mean this, and your dad's probably rolling his eyes watching this right now, but it's one of those things where, like, your dad is a special cat, and your mom, and your dad would say the same thing. Your mom it's like she is a gift from the sky because of the person she is.
She's wonderful. I don't know how she does it. I don't know how she puts up with us.
And how those two people end up together and create such wonderful kids. Like, you're one in a million, man. You really are. So what is it like to a day in the life of Logan Bell at home?
I mean, it's wake up in the bed with Penny. I mean, she's my woman. Love her. She keeps me going. By
it's
the
your
way,
dog,
Penny's
by the way.
dog.
I was going to say, dude.
Yeah. Before anybody thinks about it, that's my dog. Wake up. I mean, my sister and my mom always work out in the morning. So like they would beat me to working out when I'm at home. So I always had to take second dibs to going up to the facility to work out, or riding the Peloton, or going on the treadmill. So like for me, it's like, hey, get up, like do your thing. And then, I mean, I'm blessed. I mean, they always have food for me whenever I ask. I mean, I was cooking eggs every morning. I'd bacon. I had whatever I wanted. It was great. But I think for me, it's like the ability to go up to the shop. So R.L. Craig, the ability for me to walk up to that building whenever I want and talk to people that I know from high school and that have seen me grow up. And like, really, like that's, I mean, I'd consider that one of my supportive staff too. Like that business, like, they love me. I mean, and I love them. Like they have a special spot in my heart because like when I was a little kid, they let me come up there and do whatever I wanted. Like I practically ran the place.
Oh, okay.
I was everywhere. It was awesome.
I think your dad and your grandpa would probably have something to say about that.
Yeah, probably.
From a standpoint of competitiveness, now everybody knows how competitive you are. But out of the four of you, your mom, your dad, you, and Lex, who is the most competitive?
It's me.
No, it's not.
Yeah. So not everybody knows this, but like Lexi is a cheater at everything we do. Anything we do, she cheats. Putt, she's just dragging the ball. Like I'd say my mom's probably like, she's kind of on the bottom because she doesn't like to do things that she's not good at. Like if we go golfing, like if we go to Top Golf or something like that, she's like, no, I'm not doing it. Because she just can't golf. She doesn't like, the clubs just don't work for her.
Yeah.
And I mean,
oh, here it comes. I'm waiting on this one.
I don't know. He's special, man. It's fun because like we'll play golf. Like when we go golf, we haven't been able to golf much lately. But I remember when I was like 12, we were playing golf in Hawaii, and I was like messing with the scorecard so it would say I beat him, and I hold it over his head every day. I'll be like, hey, you shot a 98. You shot a 99. I shot a 98. I beat you when I was 12. He'll be like, dude, you had 4 hole-in-ones. No wonder you beat me. It's just like, now I'll get texts like, hey, can't wait to beat you in golf, because for Father's Day I got him a new bag and some new shoes because I want him to start golfing more. Good. So he got that, and I got a whole video of him opening all of it, and then he kept texting me, hey, I'm gonna beat you. I can't wait to beat you.
See, that's why I thought he was the most competitive, because like it's like, thank you ... I'm gonna beat you.
Well, and then he'll do like, he'll add his own little bets on it. Like he'll be like, yeah, but you have to give me 24 strokes. Like, no, if you want to beat me, you're gonna play me straight up. Like that's how it works.
You can't load the juice.
Yeah, you don't get any senior citizen discount over here when you're playing me.
God.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Keep the golden Buckeye card in your wallet, Dad. All right, so we got the most competitive as you. Who is the most compassionate?
I'd say my mom. I'd say it goes mom, dad, and then I don't even know about Lexi, honestly. I mean, I'm not home that much anymore. But I mean,
she hasn't changed much, dude.
No. I'd say my mom and dad are very similar in compassion. I mean, like, whenever I'm home for like break, it's like, hey, we're going to church, we're going to get food. Like, because like when I'm home, they want to spend the time with me. Like that's why I'm there. I'm there to see them. Mm-hmm. So like when season starts, I don't get to see them much. So like, I mean, the fall semester, my mom came to every game. Like she'd drive 3 hours to Bowling Green, Ohio in the middle of the day, on a Tuesday to come watch me play. And I mean, now that my dad's kind of taken the time off work to give the ability to come see me and to like come to California this summer. Like they're going to come out like every 2 weeks. Cause that's what he wants to do. Like he wants to be there. He wants to experience it. I think that's the biggest thing, is like us being together. Like he really, I think that's something that we have that's very special, is like our bond, to where we love to do things together. Like we'd love to go anywhere together. Like the other day we were going to go to the bunker in Boardman to go like play golf, but I had a meeting come up, so I wasn't able to go. But like we'd planned on going there and playing golf for 2.5 hours. It's kind of like,
that's awesome.
They're very equal because like they love me and Lexi so much. Like they give us everything that we could ask for from a kid's standpoint. Like they let us do they let us do what we want to do, but they'll also like rein us in when we kind of get out of turn. So
that being said, your dad coming out to watch you play ball every 2 weeks and your mom coming out, and obviously there's still a lot of baseball to be played for you, Logan, but do you ever feel like, this thing can end at any time and you're just being able to keep playing throughout? And I know we talked about it and you said, I'm just going to play as long as they'll let me play. And Do you feel like that is something where you're starting to make memories that'll last the rest of your life in playing baseball, knowing that, if Father Time never loses, from that standpoint? Do you feel like yourself starting to feel that way and trying to pack in those memories?
I mean, there's days where I get very reminiscent of like high school baseball, where I'm like, dude, like I really missed being able to go up there and throw 7 innings and bat the whole time, and then if I go out, go play shortstop. Like, I think that was something, like having my dad there, having my family there is kind of always special to me. So when they're able to like come out to California for the summer, it kind of brings everything back to like the beginning for me. So like when I'm out there and they're not there, I'm hanging out, like I'm obviously doing what I'm supposed to do and being a good teammate, trying to be the best player on and off the field. So like when I'm on my days off, when I'm videoing the other pitchers, like I'm in the seats right behind home plate, hanging out and talking to parents. Like, I mean, I think it's just like I feel like it's family for me has kind of always brought sports together, and sports have always brought family together. So it's a very big part of my life that I feel like even when I have children and they have children, like baseball, football, basketball, every sport will just be what keeps us like very well round and tight.
So you're entering, or I guess you're in the midst of the year that I made the the noble thought, and at 5'4.5", that I wasn't going to get drafted out of Westminster College as a backup catcher. So I had to start putting it together from a standpoint of, okay, plan A didn't work out for me. It was nice to have that dream. Plan B, I should probably start moving up in the ranks. Do you ever catch yourself thinking, okay, what am I going to do if plan A in getting drafted or going to play in the bigs doesn't work out for me? Do you have that, or are you still all in on I'm getting drafted?
I mean, I feel like in terms of my plans, it would be there's A, B, C, D. Yeah, A, B, C. No, yeah, A, B, C, and D. So plan A is obviously get drafted and try and be a professional baseball player. Plan B is plan A. And then plan C would be like become like a pitching coach and become a coach and be a very like stay in the game of baseball and try to either be a pitching coach or a head coach and stuff like that. And then plan D would be to continue working at R.O. Craig and just help out however I can to keep the business going.
So one of the things that I learned quickly is just because you're done playing baseball, it doesn't mean you can't take the tools that you learned there. Now, obviously, nobody in a business building like YSN is going to want to know that I can throw 74 miles an hour out of the crouch and have a 1.8 pup time. But the leadership that you learned in sports, you can take the rest of your life. What things has sports taught you to overcome, and things that you are really proud of that you've been able to harness and you're going to take with you whatever plan you may do?
I think honestly the ability to like come to terms with everybody, like to be a teammate, to learn about team building and how tough times bring people together, and be able to lead when some people may not think about, hey, we need a leader. Because like, I mean, there's obviously times in like high school baseball where I would be like, hey, we have to score this inning. Like we don't have a chance if we don't score. So like, hey, let's put it together. Everybody just one step at a time, do your job, get on base, and let's just get this thing rolling. And I think that's something with pitching in college that's kind of been big for me, is like we always treat things like, hey, like together we're good. When everyone's on the same page, we're fine. Like we just got to make sure everybody stays on the same page and everybody continues to work hard and continues to push themselves out of their comfort zone. Because I mean, obviously, like you don't want to be a team that's satisfied. Like if we go score 4 runs in the 6th inning and our bullpen's coming in to finish out the game, we're not giving up 3 runs and making it a 4-3 win. We're shutting the door and we're making it a 4-0 win and we're getting out of there. Like I think that's the thing that really brings people together, is being able to realize in the moment what's going on and being able to shut stuff down or like even pick other people up in the moment.
So you haven't changed a lot in my eyes from a standpoint of being, 17, 18-year-old Logan to number 21. Just
20.
to celebrate. Oh, 20. Just
20.
20's coming.
Yeah, 21 in August.
21 in August. All right, so now you're 20, and what have you learned? And from a standpoint of if you had to go back and talk to freshman Logan Bell at Lisbon, what things would you tell him? Would you tell him to look out for anything? Would you tell him to do anything? Or would you tell him to just be who he is? I don't want to put words in your mouth, but what would you tell that person?
I mean, that's what it would be. It'd be like, hey, just be you, man. Like, go ahead, like, do what you want to do. Like, go be a professional. Go try and play Division I baseball. I know one thing I would tell myself if I could go back now is like, hey, stop being a picky eater. Like, everything tastes good now. So just like go eat all the steak, eat all the ribs, eat everything that you want. Cause like you don't realize how much you miss out until you start to get to where I'm at now. So like now I finally like I'm meal prepping every week. I'm eating a lot of other foods. I'm not eating veggies though. I don't do that. But I mean like pushing myself out of my boundaries, out of my comfort zone outside of sports. Like telling myself, hey, you're going to work on this paper for 4 hours today because you have to, not because you want to. Like, so trying to make sure I'm not procrastinating. Like, hey, like, let's type a page a day for the next week. And then let's just deal with that instead of waiting till Sunday to type 7 pages. So like, I feel like that was something that I always did in high school was I was a little bit of a procrastinator in school. And, yeah, that's something that I kind of stopped doing now. I kind of get ahead of things. I like to plan out my week and make sure I know what's going on.
What is it about vegetables that you don't like?
I don't know. It's just it's a texture thing for me. I don't know. It's all texture for some reason. Like I don't like undercooked steaks. Like rare. No, can't eat it.
What?
I like a little bit of pink. Like that's and a little bit of pink is a lot for me.
No.
Yeah, I know. I'm a rookie steak eater, though. I was the pickiest eater for 19 years.
I guarantee your dad doesn't eat his steak well done.
No, he keeps it alive.
Yeah, absolutely.
He'll be like, what do you have? They'll be like, rare? He'll be like, do you have rare plus? And I'll be like, okay.
Like it's a streaming service. I want rare plus. Give it to me.
Yeah, like what are we talking about here? Just order your food.
All right, so were you so you're obviously a picky eater growing up?
Yeah, awful.
What did you eat?
A lot of chicken nuggets, grilled cheese, pizza, popcorn.
So anything tan?
Yeah, a lot of fried food. I mean, it was we ate fast food a lot, but that's also for like me. It was a lot easier. So like,
well, you guys were on the road.
We were always on the run. It was awful, but. I mean, looking back at it, that's something that I'll never forget. Like being in the car all that time, it's the person who I am today. Like I enjoyed, I drove 36 hours home from California. I enjoyed every single minute. Like we have a bus ride tomorrow, 8 a.m. to 6:45, and I'm like, I can't wait.
Oh gosh! You guys are riding the bus?
Yeah, we're bussing all the way down there.
Oh my gosh!
It's gonna be great. I can't wait.
It's your heaven, man.
Yeah, like I'm gonna get on the bus, I'm gonna put my headphones in, I'm gonna do some homework, listen to some music, and take a nap afterwards.
Your parents are shocked right now. Part of them probably doesn't believe you that you're gonna do all that stuff, but probably, I mean, you're saying it. So
No. She trusts me. She knows. My mom knows.
Of course.
I talked to her. I called her today, and I was like, hey, I gotta get some stuff done tonight. I gotta clean. I gotta pack. I gotta get Penny's to-go bag ready for my dog sitter. And then whenever I get that done, it's gonna be, hey, let's get ready for bed and then do some homework on the bus. I got 10 hours. I might as well use them.
All right, let's talk about this season. I mean, we're talking about the travel to get there. Obviously, you're amped up. What things do you want to check the box on this year for personal goals? I know you're not big into personal ones, but what personal goals, if you have any, would you want to check the box on?
I think I wanna keep myself under 3 walks per 9, like especially out of the bullpen. If I can keep that under 3 walks per 9, that'll help keep my whip down, which, I mean, as long as I keep people off the bases, I can keep my ERA low. I mean, one thing for me has been, like, controlling the run game a lot better. That's something I kind of worked on this summer. That was, like, big for me to keep people off second base. Okay, you're on first. Who cares? And then, I mean, being a tough guy to score on is always fun because like that just drains every team. Like if I come in with runners on second and third with one out, strike a guy out, roll a ground ball, and we're out of it, like they're just like, you hear a big sigh out of the dugout. Like it's kind of something like being able to just come in, shut the door, and get off the field.
Unbelievable. Any other ones?
I mean, I feel like being like first team All MAC, second team All MAC, any of that, like get some MAC recognition. Because I think this is the year that I kind of put myself on the map in college baseball.
This is your year.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it, man. All right, and finally tonight, or I guess today, when you look at kind of where things are you? There's a difference between happy and joyful, right? Happy is, you know, it's almost unachievable sometimes, but to be joyous in the moment. I know you, I know your family, I know where you're at, but I want to hear you say it. Are you happy where Logan Bell is at, sitting at 20 years old, and are you excited for the next, I'm going to say, because I'm 37, are you excited for the next 17 of where you're going to head?
Yeah, I mean, I love where I'm at. Like, there's nothing that could pull me out of Bowling Green right now. And there's a long path because, like, I believe that, like, whatever I'm doing is going to work out for me. Like, even if it doesn't work out for another 5 years, like, say I end up signing somewhere and then I play minor league ball for 8 years, like that doesn't bother me. Like, I know, like, whatever happens, like, is going to make me who I am the next year. It's like my favorite Matthew McConaughey quote is like he gets asked, who's your hero? And he's like, me in 10 years. That's who my hero is. And then like 10 years came along and he was like, he got asked the same question again. He was like, oh no, it's me in 5 more years. Like just like constantly wanting to be better and continuing to like uphold your values. Like that's kind of something that has always helped me, is like, hey, like, you know what your daily basis and your daily routine is supposed to be, but like, don't procrastinate. Don't get caught thinking about cheating an extra rep. Like, if you're thinking about cheating an extra rep, do another rep. Who cares? Like, you're here. What's the point of skipping a rep? You're not going to gain anything from it. So do the last rep, like, or do an extra one at that. It's kind of just like that hard work beats talent when talent fails to work hard.
I love it, man. Look at you just ripping off quotes.
Yeah.
You just.
I'm a big quote guy. I mean, I have this right here.
Yeah.
I mean, I wake up every day. That's the first thing I see.
All right, I lied. One more question for you.
Okay.
So you obviously had the adversity to deal with, people telling you that you're from Lisbon, they're not going to look at you. You're from a small school. You're not going to go D1. For the kids out there that are looking at you and saying, look what he did, look what Logan did, what advice do you have for them, no matter the age, to pursue their dreams and pursue what they want to do, whether it's going to lead them to their final destination or just be a brick in the path?
I feel like don't let anybody's personal experience make you think that yours is going to be like theirs, because people hit their own forks in the road. Like, my fork in the road was a partial tear of the UCL, and yours could be completely different. Yours could be just like anything else. Like, yours could be a sprained ankle. Who cares? Like, just continue to persevere through any obstacle that you run through. And if you're going to run through an obstacle, run through it full speed, because it's going to hurt if you're not running full speed.
I love it, man. Thank you so much for spending an hour with us today. It's my favorite hour of today. I can tell you that right now. So I appreciate it. Keep killing it out there, man. We're all proud of you. We're all rooting for you back here. You're not LB5 anymore. You're LB29. So
yeah, 29.
Got to make sure that we get you repped out there, man. Congratulations on so much success so far at such a young age, and continued success this season, man. I hope you check all those boxes and obviously continue to be a role model for everybody that looks your way.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
You got it, man. There he is, Logan Bell, the Lisbon alumni. Logan Bell, now at Bowling Green State University. So we are going to get to our final part of the show here. The Joe Dickey Electric What's Your Spark, presented by our friends over at Joe Dickey Electric. Visit them today at DickeyElectric.com. Joe Dickey Electric, proudly powering the Valley for over 60 years. All right, so with that entire hour of Logan, it just inspired me even more. And we have to bring positive sparks, because Logan, even though he won't tell you, was a young man who everybody told him he couldn't do something. He couldn't do this, he couldn't do that, he wasn't going to be a D1. Well, what do you know about D1? You're coming from Lisbon, Ohio, coming from a small school where not a whole lot of people, move up those ranks. But there he is, living his dream right now. There he is, killing it. And not to, because he's a pitcher, I don't want to use this term, but I have to. He's knocking it out of the park. He is a role model for each and every one of us, no matter what your age is. I'm 37. You could be 40, 80 years old, 8 years old. No matter what you are, take what Logan said today and apply it to your life. Whether it's your job, your sport, your just your everyday. If you're gonna go through a wall, go through it full speed. That's what he said, and that's what he means, because that's the way he does things. Because when you come out on the other side, you're gonna come out stronger. It's guys and girls like Logan, his sister Lexi, that we look to in sports as a vote of confidence, as someone to look up to. Our kids, again, I said it before, if you're a father, you want a kid like Logan Bell walking through your door dating your daughter. If you are a father, you want Logan Bell to be your son. And it's because of the great things that he's been taught by his family. And to be a great man like Logan is now, you have to be coming from a great family. And can't say enough about the Bells. Can't speak highly enough about the Bells. We consider them family, the Yoakleys, as I speak. But it's one of those things where at the end of the day, treat others the way you want to be treated. That's all it's ever been. And the Bells do the same thing. You would not know how great or what they're going through based on a day-to-day basis, because they treat you the same always. They treat you like gold. And that's the way we should treat everybody. So that is my Joe Dickey Electric What's Your Spark? A little scatterbrained, but I'll tell you, it was an honor having Logan on for an hour. I know he's busy doing all this stuff, getting ready for a weekend series down in Alabama. And we wish him well. He's one of my favorites. He's one of those guys that we love following here. And I will continue to follow wherever he goes in life, not just in baseball, but wherever he goes in life. So that's going to do it for our show today. Everybody have a great weekend. Don't forget that go to ysnlive.com/live. A ton of games on tonight. Boys games, get them all for free on the network, because starting next week, $9.99 Power Play Pass available. You pay one price and you get all the games. That's going to do it for our show. We'll see you again. Have a good weekend. We'll see you on Monday, 3 to 4, right here on Your Sports Network.
YSN thanks you for watching this presentation of Your Sports Network.